edition. I'll explain. Coming up. Edition. The Big Mike, congratulations. You're not fired.
We'll have less sleep and we'll be grumpy.
Happy for Mike. Still kind of weird, though, when it's news that you are keeping your job edition. And we have to talk about headlines. Those are tomorrow. But I think we have to have a conversation about them. Edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need, everything you want from ESPN Wisconsin on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson has his lunch. No more snowbank issues. He's in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios and back in his undisclosed location. He's the Packers Hall of Famer. He's back to wearing a shirt without a collar on it. Was that a V-neck? It is the Packers Hall of Famer. It's Mark Tausch. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I know for a fact that shirt didn't start as a V-neck.
Why do you think this shirt's a V-neck?
It's just the angle from which I was seeing it. It kind of did it not? It plunged a little bit, Jesse, right?
Yeah.
It's a circular collared T-shirt. I don't understand.
A crew neck that's maybe a little stretched out. Bulbous head there with your sweater?
No, it's not. What do you mean it's stretched out? It literally is a T-shirt. Like I couldn't. Like there's some that I wear a ton that I will be down. This is like up to my neck. I'm curious where you.
I think you adjusted it since I brought attention to it on the video stream. But be that it's doing it again now. Now it looks like a V-neck again. Every time you lean forward.
I'm not having. Okay, move along.
I was moving along. I was.
No, you weren't.
Whoa!
You want me to bring up the. Continue.
It's not our fault. Your shirt looks like it's a V-neck, even though it's not.
Thank you, Jesse. You look great.
And it's not your fault either.
No one is to blame.
What are you guys, Goodwill Hunting? I'm not worried about it. Let's move along. You guys, you bring up these really. You always are talking. Well, it's a radio show. It's not, and then you always. He's wearing a collared shirt. He's wearing this. Okay, great. Yeah, I'm wearing a T-shirt. You didn't get stretched out. Let's move along. Move it along. Let's go.
Big Mike kept his job. I don't know what he's wearing this morning. Probably a hoodie. But he's got his job in Dallas. I'm excited for him. We'll talk about that. But I need to have a conversation with you.
All right.
You
Go
and
ahead.
the Academy. I think we can all agree that the brilliance of headlines is undeniable. Like, and it all began.
It's been a fun ride. It's been a fun ride for sure.
It all began actually with you as Eminem more than a year ago, as the Packers were playing in Detroit, or as Mike McCarthy would say, Detroit, and then the entire season we had sultry. Well. Good morning, Mr. Tauscher. Going down? Creepy moments like those. But mostly moments of absolute brilliance. Here's the problem. Now everyone has gotten involved. Now, if you recall, I said, I'm not going to do this. I tried it once. It was fine.
Yeah, you quit. You quit.
No.
You quit on it.
No.
You did.
It's copyright infringement. Now, I know your brothers have not gone to the government and gotten proper trademarks and such. But my feeling was, this is Tausch and his bros' domain. I'm not going to impede. I'm not going to encroach.
We wanted
on
you
that.
to compete and try to. We wanted you to compete and try to beat us. Is what we were hoping for. But you cowered, which is fine.
Okay, you could disrespect me all you want. The bottom line was I was respecting you. No, but be that as
disrespect there.
Yeah, there's a lot, actually, if you're scoring home
Jason,
from the
I
guy
agree.
in the V-neck
It's
shirt.
disrespectful
But
to not
my
put your hat
point
in it.
is,
Continue.
now it has gone, like, I spent a chunk of my week earlier in the week writing lyrics for my headline. And Josh in Heartland, who has a real job, by the way,
I'm not sure he does, but okay.
has been enlisted by essentially everyone who works for Good Karma Brands. Like, I think there's guys at ESPN Chicago and ESPN LA doing these now. Like, it has gotten out of control. Jesse,
the guy that was
is getting
shoveling the
messages.
sidewalk was saying, "Hey, Josh and Heartland needs me to do a few bars. You got time this afternoon?" I'm getting fans that we have this generic email contact a team member thing that you can find on our website, and I'm getting emails from fans saying, "Hey, I've got a headline ready. Where do you want me to send it to?" And I really appreciate that from Adam in Oregon and whomever else has reached out that way. And do we need to set a standard here for because tomorrow's going to be a huge show.
We need a clearinghouse.
Tomorrow's going to be a huge show. We have all our usual pre-Packers game itinerary scheduled. And now I feel like the Headlines concert series, which last week took 2 segments with 4 submissions, feels like we're going to be up near 8 to 10 if we accept all the submissions that have reached out already. And that's not to mention the people that are probably going to be sending me things at midnight tonight saying, "Here's this for the Headlines," because Tausch put up the bat signal on Monday.
Did you?
Here's what we need to do.
Did you?
Here's what you need to do. Yes, of course. This is a digi-only. We are always looking for digi-onlys. So, obviously, Josh in Heartland, his grandfather, he is always going to get his on air. He's shown that he delivered the goods. The analytical firm, 565, they have showed themselves. They get airtime. After that, obviously, the Academies is always going to get airtime. After that, Jesse, you weed through what you think is best, and everything else is digi-only. This isn't hard to figure out. That's how we do it.
Wait a minute. Does that mean I can be relegated to digi-only? No, we want you to compete, but you might not be good enough, and you'll be. We're going to be putting you on YouTube at 3 in the morning.
In fairness, you quit around the time the Packers took off. You quit around November.
You're welcome for my service.
Do we need to have?
Thanks. You helped spur these guys on.
Do we need to make this like Summerfest where we have the
side stages,
the Fleet Farm
Ecuador,
stage,
Manta,
the Grassland Butter stage, and I'm playing the Pella stage at 1 in the morning
Jesse,
on Saturday.
See, you figured it out. That's exactly what we'll do, and we'll Casey Kasem it digi only. So, Jesse, in reality, how many entries will there be for Headlines this week?
I honestly have lost count. I've got some that have reached out by DM on Twitter. I've got some that have reached out by email. I've got some that are texting a lot.
Okay.
I've got some that
Here's what we promise.
I've got what I'm trying to figure out for myself tonight that we got to make time to make happen. It's a lot.
I'm going to put this on Jesse.
Of
but
course
if
you are.
If you submit a headline in song form, it will be on our digital platform at a bare minimum. Okay? Jesse and I will do a digi-only Casey Kasem style tomorrow that we will run some point before the Packer game on Saturday. That's what we're going to promise to do.
Can I ask you this with nothing but respect and appreciation for your brilliance? Do you ever consider how much work you create for other people? Ever?
No, I don't, because I also am working. This isn't like I'm not doing anything. I will be Casey Kaseming with Jesse. So, yeah. No, I don't. See?
Okay.
Shiloh wants it. Digi. We want Digi. People want Digi, too. Okay?
Yes.
So even the bad ones you want to do on Digi.
The bad ones are sometimes the best.
So you want to treat this like American Idol auditions at this point?
Sort of, yeah.
William Hung has submitted one.
We have Carrie Underwood, which I would think is the Academy. Josh and Heartland is probably Kelly Clarkson. Ruben Stoddard could be the 565 analytics firm. Like, we have people that I think have set the tone, and they're in. And now it's
Danny
earn it.
Gokey.
Just like the Packers have to go out to Santa Clara and earn it, same thing here, Digi. That's where we're at, Jesse. We good?
So the official standard here is anyone who submits a headline automatically gets a spot in a Digi Casey Kasem style special.
No matter
That is
how
correct.
bad, no matter how
That is
good.
correct, yes.
And then we're going to pick.
Well, obviously, if there's
what
any
we deem to be the
obscenities-
tier
Well,
1
actually-
or tier 2s make it to the air tomorrow. On the
Jesse,
Pella stage, the
obscenities can
Fleet
go
Farm
on
stage.
Digi only, right?
Yeah.
If you get obscene, you can still go on Digi only, right?
I'm
Because
not
there's
worried
no
about
FCC.
obscene. I'm worried about sultry. Because there's been some awkward moments on our program when we've gone a little too sultry. It's cost Josh and Heartland Kringle for a year. It's got us with the imagery of you in the elevator with Jesse going down.
That was a tough one. We may or may. I'll say this: if Jesse gets that surveillance video released, we will release the video of the Aerosmith song with me, Jesse, and Maddie, and the whole team.
Can't believe how busy that elevator was that day.
Not
it was
busy
kinda
enough,
crazy.
quite frankly, for those of us that didn't really need that. All right. I want to get to Mike McCarthy. We've got Evan Cohen coming up a little bit later in the 9 o'clock hour. So the presenters of our main stage, there's the AmFam Amphitheater at Summerfest. Well, early on in our program, obviously, the first stage that we have is the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin stage.
And even when the weather outside is frightful, and it is frightful, it's chilly, your energy bill should be much more delightful. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows. It keeps the cold outside where it belongs. I can't tell you how thankful I am for our Pella Windows and Doors. I don't see cash. It's not even dollars anymore. It's $5 zipping out your windows. Give Gina and their team a call. Get it fixed. You can help kick those January blues.
When you choose.
Don't step up on my line.
I thought you were holding it because you wanted me to
boy.
chime in.
All right, let's do it again. Hey,
Okay.
we're working together. Let's
All
do
right.
it again. You'll help kick the January blues.
When you choose.
To book by the 31st. 0% interest for 36 months. Yep, you heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com today. Certain restrictions do apply.
Sorry, I misread the defensive look there. That's
That's
on
all
me.
right. Hey, we worked through it. It was good.
Well, I'm only as good as my offensive line, which you can read about in the Wisconsin State Journal this morning. All right, we need to get to this Mike McCarthy conversation because Tausch in our text chain made a very, very, very interesting point as we were preparing for this topic. We'll tell you what that point is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Keep the good times rolling every Sunday with GKB founder and CEO Craig Karmazin on Sunday Karma.
Everyone's using Daniel Jones as why Jordan Love's going to get paid all that money. I think it's the opposite. I think it's what you just hit.
Right.
I think that it's more of like, hey, be careful. Don't just jump into paying someone unless you're sure.
Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin.
Is that how you manage?
That is not how you manage, but that might be the way that the Green Bay Packers organization
I'm saying
goes about their business.
it's the way the Green Bay
Actually,
Packers
we know they go about their business like that.
Sundays from 10 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Is your phone plan messing with your savings plan? Don't get stuck paying for things you don't want. With Verizon, you only pay for what you need. And for a limited time, when you bring your own phones to a Verizon store, you'll get an amazing price on your plan. Plus, you'll save on things you actually love, like the Netflix and Max with Ads bundle. And it's on our award-winning 5G network. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today for an incredible deal. A better plan to save is Verizon. Additional terms and conditions apply.
If you think about it, the floor is the part of your home that gets lived on the most. It gets walked on, stomped over, spilled on. It bears the weight of life on its planks. That's where LifeProof's luxury vinyl plank flooring comes in. Our premium flooring is durable, scratch-resistant, and 100% waterproof, so it can take all that stomping and spilling with no problem. Plus, it comes in a variety of colors and styles, and it's easy to install. So make sure your floor can stand up to life's toughest tests with LifeProof. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Q Club of Wisconsin is your hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
Gary, we have so much going on. We're still the place to be on game days to catch the green and gold. Book a holiday party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Plus, we got great live music every Saturday night. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high!
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top-quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Bunzels.com.
Monster Jam, massive stunts, all-out racing, crazy skills. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. The fun begins at the pit party, where you can meet the drivers, get autographs, take pictures, and see the trucks up close. Get your $20 pit party pass at monsterjam.com today. Must have valid event ticket to enter pit party. Restrictions may apply. Rules and activities are subject to change. Visit website for event details. Coming to Fiserv Forum this weekend.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
We'll talk to Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike coming up next. I know this is something they talked about on their program. Mike McCarthy retained as the Dallas Cowboys head coach. He is not being fired. He will have his 5th season as the Cowboys head coach. He coached 12 years and 12 games in Green Bay before this. Tausch, I thought he was a goner after the way that game went.
I did too.
I was legitimately surprised when this came across my desk yesterday. Why do you think he's still staying in Dallas, and why is Jerry Jones actually showing patience? Although, as someone pointed out, he was really patient with Jason Garrett for a long time too. So maybe Jerry's not as reactionary as I thought he was.
So I think a couple of things. Obviously, Jerry, and you saw in his statement, respects the work that Mike has done. That team, they've been in the mix every year. And as we know in Green Bay, you're going to have the best team. Doesn't mean you're always going to win a championship. Happened probably 3 or 4 times in this whole tenure that, Packer fans wish before 5 championships and not 2. But when you look at this, I think Jerry, you have to be a certain kind of cat to work for Jerry. The big dogs like the Belichicks and some of the people that they talked about maybe coming in there to replace Mike, I don't know if Jerry felt like they could coexist in that circumstance. And there's also the fact he's 80-some-odd years old. You make a coaching change, it can work great, but it can also go the other way, and it takes time. I don't think he looks at things as he has time. I think he looks at this and says, we played a bad game, but on the whole, Mike McCarthy's done a great job down there. They've won a lot of games, and they've been in position to win in the playoffs. They haven't gotten it done, and that does fall on the head coach. So that's why I was surprised, because his contract's running out. They're going to have to extend him now.
Right.
You don't leave 1 year. You're going to end up. So I think Jerry just went with I like the direction our team's going. We played a bad game. A patient approach that I find ironic, because every talking head, didn't matter if it was Orlovsky, Greenberg, any of the ESPN cats, all shocked that they kept Mike. And I'm thinking, well, why are you shocked here? He's won a ton of games. Is it just because it's the Dallas Cowboys?
Right.
I don't
Or just
understand.
because it's Mike McCarthy, who seems to get ripped more than other coaches of similar success rates.
Yeah, and I've said this numerous times, it's because of the way he looks. That's a big part of why he gets the shrapnel that he does. It's just the way it is, because his record is better than Sean Payton. I think you can make an argument, especially the last 5 or 6 years, his resume is better than Mike Tomlin's the last 5 or 6 years. It just is.
Right.
And Mike Tomlin doesn't get any of that shrapnel. Sean Payton is a guru getting paid $20 million a year out in Denver after he took a year off. Nobody is saying any of those
Russell
things.
Wilson.
Yeah, and nobody is saying any of those things about Mike. Mike has had a highly successful run, and I think part of it is the Aaron Rodgers mystique part, and I think part of it is the way he looks. So I think you could look at both of those things as big factors. And the Dallas Cowboys draw a lot of oxygen, obviously, when it comes to the national conversation. So all of those things, I think the Cowboys, I think they're going to it's going to end up being a positive that you kept Mike as far as the Cowboys go, because of what he was able to do with Dak. I would be very cautious of giving Dak Prescott any more money. I would let him play his deal out, and I would start looking for the next Brock Purdy, because CeeDee Lamb's going to take a bunch of money. Micah Parsons is going to take a lot of money. Ferguson's going to get paid a lot. You're going to start paying a lot of guys, and when you're paying, Green Bay's going to find this out, luckily, in 2 or 3 years, because Jordan Love is going to be. Why would Jordan Love not be the highest paid quarterback when he gets his new deal? Why would his representation say anything different? And what are the Packers going to say? They now know they got their guy. They could have paid him last year. They didn't. Jordan Love should be sitting there saying, whatever the top number is, that's $53 million a year, his reps are going to say, yeah, we need 55. And he is completely justified in saying that.
We will see how that plays out. I am happy for Mike McCarthy. That is not why I said, though, that
I don't know. I'm a little. If he doesn't get an extension,
you'd rather
and
have him
he's
get
just playing
fired.
out, he's going to be a dead man walking. 1 year left on his deal. That leash or that fuse, however you want to put it, for next year will be short. He will be the early Las Vegas odds first coach fired if they get off to a slow start. So while I'm happy Mike is still working, I hope that he and his team get what he's looking for, because he has to put up with a lot down there too. This isn't a one-way street.
I agree, but I think I would be surprised if he would not have some sort of extension in place coming up. So that's the
if he
that's
doesn't,
the good news.
When you said you're happy for him, I'd say, yeah, I'm happy too. I hope he gets another $30 million, $15 a year for 2 more years. Extend him, and then if things go sour next year, Mike, here's $30 million. Thank you for your service.
Right.
That'd be good by me too.
That's not the same amount of money that you can make by going to Fortria if you're a big Mike type. But for those of us that don't have the NFL head coaching qualifications, it's a pretty good chunk of money that Fortria's paying out for their testing.
Yeah, let's say Mike gets relieved of his duties. The three of us, we can go in, grab a little extra cash from Fortria. They have some fun studies going on right now. Healthy adults ages 18 to 60. Body mass index of 18 to 32. Study involves 2 stays, 15 nights, 7 follow-ups, and you grab yourself $14,000 in cold, hard cash. Also have another trial. Healthy adults ages 18 to 55. Got to be a little bit heavier. BMI of 18.5 to 32. That study involves 1 stay of 14 nights. You grab yourself $6,500 for your time and participation. And it is simple. Just go to FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortrea, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace for the Bath Authority. If your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold and mildew, or broken tiles, you gotta call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. Elevate your bathroom to a new level of luxury, style, and safety. Schedule your free in-home estimate today and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit ZBart.com for more information.
Aaron Jones is currently playing some of the best football of his career. In the win over the Cowboys, he carried the ball 21 times for 118 yards and 3 touchdowns. Over the past 4 games, Jones has totaled 476 yards on the ground at a 5.7 yards per carry average. Head coach Matt LaFleur in the play of his star back.
He's one of the best. His ability to put his foot in the ground, got great vision, his ability to break tackles, make people miss. He's saving the day in protection. I mean, he impacted the game greatly.
The Packers take on the San Francisco 49ers Saturday night. Kickoff from Levi's Stadium is at 7:15.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Pewaukee star basketball player Nick Janowski. In a battle of D1 commits last week, Janowski and the Pirates took care of Jaquan Johnson and the Pius Popes in overtime, 84-71. Janowski's squad did not allow a point in overtime. And in the win, the senior Janowski also put up 40 points. He's averaging just over 30 points a game this season. Already committed to play basketball at the next level as well, intending to head to Nebraska to play for the Cornhuskers. A 6'3 guard, Janowski and the Pewaukee Pirates have a couple games on tap this week, taking on New Berlin West and Franklin. Congratulations to this week's Student Athlete of the Week, Nick Janowski, and good luck the rest of the season.
ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust here because Forward Healthy Lifestyles has shown me that getting older doesn't mean you have to feel older. We used to think getting older meant having less energy, less muscle, less endurance, less sex, and perhaps a bit more joint pain and weight around that waist. Not anymore. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles help men optimize their hormone levels, including testosterone, providing cutting-edge regenerative medicine therapies, and even help men lose stubborn weight with programs like semaglutide. In 2024, change your life. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
God, I love this song. I'm not sure it's the best Killers song. Tausch, you're more the aficionado.
Mr.
But it's up
Brightside, top song for 20-plus years. Top 30 song. Nobody has ever been close to that. Mr. Brightside.
Brandon Flowers, the lead singer, I believe. Outstanding. You're such a big fan, you don't know the lead singer's name.
I love their music. I don't care about all the other stuff. I love the music.
Well, we know this guy's name. You hear him on Unsportsmanlike every morning across ESPN Wisconsin. It is Evan Cohen on Wilde and Tausch. Evan, good morning. How are you?
What a horrible statement by Tausch, Jason. You can't say you love a band. You can't say you love a band and not know the lead singer's first name. That's like saying I'm a huge Packers fan. Who's number 10? What are you talking? Of course it's... And by the way, Tausch, his name is the same as a former NFL defensive back, Brandon Flowers, who you probably played against. So you extra should know the name. What a horrible statement by you. Horrible.
No, let me tell you, music is different, man. You feel it. You listen. I don't care if it's Johnny Flowers. That's the beauty of music. It doesn't matter who is doing it. It's what is coming out. That's how this works, Evan. It's not about that.
I agree with you. But you can't say the moment you say they're my favorite and you don't know the lead singer, they are not your favorite. They're not your favorite. Simple as that.
No,
don't
they
tell
are
me that they're your favorite. No, they're not.
Okay,
you don't even know Brandon Flowers. If you don't know the bassist, drummer,
This is my fault. This is my fault.
Didn't we have this discussion when the person said they were a big Packer fan and they didn't know who you were, Tausch?
Yeah, well, don't even give Evan that opening. Don't give Evan that opening. No, we're not. Move on. We're moving along. I'm not giving EFCO that. Jason, what do you got?
Wait, one final statement. I promise you I'll move on. That is not the same, Jesse, because he ain't Favre, Rodgers, or Love. Let's be fair.
All right, no doubt about that.
He's not even Clifton or Bulaga or Bakhtiari.
Evan. Okay, Evan. Yeah, okay. I don't know why you did that to me, Wilde. That's rude.
I didn't know that was going to happen.
Do you need to know who the coach of the team is if your wife says, boy, you know what? I've really become a big fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you need to know who the head coach is to say that you're a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah,
but she doesn't.
Especially when he's in
but if
commercials.
she doesn't, she can still be a fan. Right?
You're not a huge fan. And by the way, no, you're not a huge... Wait, by the way, when I said it was the final thing, you just went back to it.
That's a very good point.
Well, I'm not going to let you dictate what the final thing is on our show. This isn't unsportsmanlike.
I don't dictate the final thing on that show either.
Oh, I'm well aware. I'm well aware. I watched the show.
Evan, are you more of a crew neck T-shirt guy or a V-neck T-shirt guy?
I've gone through phases on that. I was a V-neck guy for a long period of time. I think right now I'd go crew neck. I think if I was like in tip-top shape and I had some skin to show off, Lou Riddick, Richard Jefferson style, maybe I'd go V-neck. Wow. I think in the moment, crew neck suits everybody best.
I would tend to agree. How much time did you spend on Mike McCarthy not getting fired on your program this morning?
I don't know, Jason, if we spent time on anything else. Literally, I think we did 4 straight hours on it, and I think it's worthy of it because Mike McCarthy not getting fired really takes us through so many NFL storylines. It takes us through the Dallas Cowboys, obviously the most polarizing brand in the sport. It takes us through the greatest coach of all time in Bill Belichick and the fact that that's not a landing spot. It takes us through what happens in Philadelphia to be determined, right? It takes you through a lot of different things. It takes you through the comparisons to guys that numerically are his equals in Sean Payton and Mike Tomlin. Both are looked at as way above him. I don't understand why on both of them. I think Tomlin's a better coach, but I think the gap is way greater between Belichick and Tomlin than it is Tomlin and McCarthy, if we're going to be fair on that. And I love Tomlin. Don't get me wrong. But we spent the entire time on this because this was unbelievably significant news. But what I said that I think threw people for a loop is everyone hates the idea for the Cowboys that Mike McCarthy's back. I don't like it for Mike McCarthy. A 1-year deal? If the Seattle Seahawks and John Schneider, connection from the Packers days, come calling for 5 years, I'm out. I need a contract extension. And if I'm McCarthy's agent, I don't know who it is. I'll assume Jimmy Sexton. I have no idea. Whoever his agent is, I'm still subtly maybe making phone calls to see if anybody else wants to offer me a deal, because maybe you kill two birds with one stone. If Jerry doesn't give him a contract extension, all right, you don't want me longer than this year? Well, guess what? Seattle does. I'm out. You let me out of the deal. We all move on. This is great that McCarthy gets a vote of confidence, but it is not a great job on a 1-year prove-it deal with that team and that owner.
Yeah, I literally just said the same thing because, yeah, it's great that you didn't get fired. I get such a kick out of all of the talking heads on ESPN and every other network that is sitting here saying it's a no-brainer that Mike should be fired. And when you look at some of those other coaches that you just mentioned, Sean Payton, we've had that discussion many times, but Mike Tomlin, they have not won anything. And why is it all of a sudden so great to be 500? Why is it, great, he's finished 17 straight years at 500, but they haven't won a playoff game in 8 years. And everybody is saying universally, you can't get rid of Mike Tomlin. You can't do it. If he is the coach of the Cowboys, would they be saying get rid of Mike Tomlin?
I'll tell you why. So there's a couple of things that need to be separated in context here. First of all, let's give Mike Tomlin credit for never, ever having a losing season. That's unbelievable in 17 years. The reason that the 9-8, 10-7 record, or 8-8 previously, is magnified today, and I literally mean today, is because Bill Belichick got fired. Because the counter is Bill Belichick didn't have a quarterback, didn't have a winning record. Mike Tomlin didn't have a quarterback, had a winning record. So I think because of the moment we're in right now, that is the part that matters, because the compare and contrast of the greatest quarterback, greatest, coach in the history of the sport was not as good as Mike Tomlin was when having nothing. There are very few coaches in sports that are equally as good having nothing and having something. Mike Tomlin, Pittsburgh Steelers, Eric Spoelstra, Miami Heat are the two that come to mind. Give them nothing, they're going to be good. Give them something, they're going to be good. The greatest coach of all time, Bill Belichick, give him nothing at quarterback, he's not going to necessarily be that good, unfortunately. And I hate to say that, but that's why it's magnified today. Mike McCarthy has become extremely underrated. And the other thing that is attractive to me about Mike McCarthy, maybe not for the Cowboys, is theoretically make him a coaching free agent right now. He would be such a blessing for the Carolina Panthers, who stink and are a mess, and you know exactly what you're getting with him. He's going to be tough, he's going to be disciplined, he's going to get the quarterback better, and he's going to get you into the playoffs. He may not win a Super Bowl, but I promise you, with teams like Carolina, you cannot win the Super Bowl without getting in the playoffs first.
Yeah, it seems so, I don't know what the right word I'm looking for.
I said every angle. No, here's what happened. I said everything so well just now that you literally have nothing to say, and you agree with me.
No, if you'd let me finish, what I'm saying is, since when are we now? Pittsburgh Steelers are a great. They're one of the elite franchises. Packers, Steelers, Cowboys. You could say however you want. Why are we all of a sudden just glorifying mediocrity? Mediocrity is now great. It's not. It's all part of your job to deliver a quarterback and develop that quarterback. Matt LaFleur has 2 years, like Mike Tomlin's had. I don't think anybody's raving. He was getting calls for his job at 2-5 earlier this season after what happened last year. So I don't understand why we're celebrating mediocrity. That's the worst place to be in the NBA. It's the worst place to be in the NFL, is to be mediocre.
Tausch, I think part of it, and again, you have to bring Belichick into this. Belichick gets penalized for mediocrity at quarterback over the last 3-4 years because he brought in the quarterback. Tomlin doesn't bring in the quarterback. The coach of the Packers, Matt LaFleur, does not bring in the quarterback. They have general managers that do that. Belichick is the general manager, right? So the mediocrity that you're talking about is Mike Tomlin was handed a quarterback room that provides him
first-round pick.
3 backups. No, I understand, not his. That hands him a quarterback room with 3 backups, and he wins 10 games. That's why he's celebrating.
And
by the way,
Chuck on YouTube
Tausch, I would look at it and say, if Mike McCarthy was handed 3 backups and the rest of the team like Tomlin has, I also think he could get you to 9 wins or 10 wins. He's that good. Okay. The problem is not within the 17. It's within the 3 or 4.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're right about that. And he fixed.
And you know what? By the way, Jason, you tell me on this. Sorry to interrupt, but you are the person to ask this to more than anybody in the state of Wisconsin that can actually answer the question. Part of the McCarthy narrative is he never publicly stood up for himself against the other quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, he took it. He always took it. And there were times when I had conversations about that because he firmly believed, right or wrong, that it was best for the team for him to just take, as Tausch would say, that shrapnel than to create a public feud with his Hall of Fame caliber quarterback and to push back on some things he said.
It's amazing how similar they actually are then, because thinking about it, different reasons. Don't equate the people that I'm going to bring up in terms of their actions, but McCarthy took it from Rodgers, never let it become public till the end. Tomlin took it from Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell, never let it become public till the end. Different stuff. Don't get me wrong on that, right? But, they both played offensive line while playing head coach and protected the team.
Yep, they did. I do think that's part. That and time management, clock management are the two things that people get after Big Mike for. All right, we've gotten a question via YouTube, which Jesse now, he's so busy back there, right? He's monitoring, he's putting together montages. Now he's monitoring the tweets and the text line and now YouTube comments. This is from Chuck on YouTube. Evan and the crew were talking about best coaches in the NFL this morning, and LaFleur was nowhere, all caps, to be found. Gotta pin him down on that.
Good point. Never even brought him up. That's a miss. That's a very good point. I literally never even thought of him.
Wow, Trumaning.
I feel like Chuck's winning the battle today. Chuck just won. He just knocked out Evan.
We were asked, a caller brought up a question about best coaches in the league, and I said, all right, let's do this over a 20-game sample size, right, over the regular season, the postseason. So we're to say 20 games. I said you start with Andy Reid, right, I think, of active coaches, because Belichick technically is not active right now. So you start with Andy Reid, and then you're debating between Tomlin, Harbaugh, McVay, Shanahan, McCarthy. For me, I mean, nobody else agrees with me on that. That's kind of, pick your next 2 through 6 or 7. So let me ask you, would you guys take Matt LaFleur, who's done an excellent job, would you take him over any of that second tier that I just mentioned? I got to assume you wouldn't take him over Andy Reid, obviously.
No. I wouldn't take him over McVay. I wouldn't take him over Shanahan. I don't know how to feel about Mike Tomlin, because the debate that we've just had has been really interesting. But I think for this team that he currently coaches, or are you saying any theoretical team?
Yeah, so that's where it gets hard, because because the argument, Jason, was not if you could have them coaching the Packers, right? It was just best coaches. Right? And that's where it gets very tricky. Andy Reid with the quarterback, you take over everyone. Mike Tomlin with, you and I playing, you take over most, because that's where he's kind of, made his bones, right?
Well, you do have your jersey framed, so you're one up on me.
That is true.
The only thing I would say about LaFleur is that the fact that we have seen the level of growth from his quarterback, the level of improvement from all these young guys, I feel like he has better established that he is a good coach than it was after last season, when we thought their success was all because Aaron Rodgers was playing great, and then when they failed, it was, well, LaFleur didn't know how to fix it, so he must not be a good coach. The last 10 games have made me, I know you said 20 games as your sample size, but my opinion of him as a coach has changed a meaningful amount. I thought he was a good coach. I didn't think he was a bad coach, but I think he might be a very good coach now, based on what I've seen the last 10 games.
When I said 20 games, Jason, when I said 20 games, I should be clear on this. I don't mean last 20. I mean, let's factor in regular season and postseason.
Yeah.
Right? So those are that's a 20-game sample size. Like, there are other coaches that, as we're thinking about this, I omitted. How about a former Packers head coach's son-in-law, who nobody brings up, and boy, what a job he's done.
Yeah, Zach Taylor. Yep.
Mike Shervin's son-in-law. I mean, that dude proved himself as much this year as he did when he went to the Super Bowl. So, there are other coaches that I omitted. I think if LaFleur wins this weekend, forget it. All hell breaks loose in terms of how we crown that guy.
All right.
But then it's almost a weird comparison, but you guys know I love the NBA. It's almost like, when you look at LeBron and you're like, wait, you didn't want to play for Spoelstra and you didn't want to play for Ty Lue and you left both those guys? So, Rodgers, you left McCarthy and you left LaFleur? On purpose?
Right. Well, I could talk Pascal Siakam trade all day with you, but I do want to talk.
I'm sure you could.
I do want to talk about the national.
I want to hear Jason Wilde break down the Pascal Siakam trade right now. Everyone in Wisconsin wants to hear this. Go ahead, Wilde.
Well, Halliburton gets a really good running mate who's been one of the better players in the league for a while, and obviously they give up 3 first-round picks, which certainly helps the Pelicans, who are going to be over the luxury tax threshold. So it's really a win for both teams.
Oh, my God. Jason Wilde, Brian Windhorst, Tim McMahon, Tim Bontemps, the new Hoop Collective pod.
Can't wait for my invitation. All right, so how is the national narrative, because of what the Packers did to the Cowboys last week, how do you think the national narrative about the Packers has shifted, if at all, as they now take on what I would argue is a clearly superior team, and it would be a hell of a win if they're able to go into Santa Clara and actually beat these 49ers?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, the conversation that we've had is how there are some stats in sports that are just like, wait, what? For example, and North Carolina basketball. When you think of the coach that has the most titles in North Carolina basketball history, who do you think of?
Dean Smith.
Roy Williams.
Yeah, and Tausch is right and you're wrong, Jason.
Right.
It is not Dean Smith, right?
Right.
The conversation has been, can you imagine if Jordan Love and the Packers pulled this off and somehow he would equal the amount of titles as Rodgers and Favre have?
That'd be crazy.
Think about that.
Crazy.
I think they are clearly playing with house money. They also clearly are part of what I deem to be one of the easiest draws I've ever seen for a Super Bowl favorite in the San Francisco 49ers. There's a chance they may play 2 9-win teams in their only NFC playoff games in a 17-game season and not a 16-game season, right? They could go from Green Bay to Tampa Bay in back-to-back weeks. That is an insanely easy draw. That is completely disrespectful to Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and Detroit. I get that, but that's the reality. It would be an enormous upset that Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers would go from overnight a house money team in 2023-24 to a Super Bowl or bust team in 24-25.
Yeah, it's
with a guy that would be his second full year as a starter.
So when you're looking at this and you have all your experts on, Kimberly, the whole crew, does anybody give the Packers a shot that you've been talking to up there at Bristol? Because I have not seen anybody say Green Bay can go in there and win.
I don't know how people in Bristol feel. I haven't been there since September, but I don't have anyone that we have had on that has said, yeah, I feel like the Packers are going to win. Not one. But, is that really an indictment on the Packers, or is it a compliment on the Niners, who I said 2 months ago are going to win the Super Bowl? They are clearly the best team in the NFL in my mind.
Better than Baltimore, even though Baltimore lit them up.
Yes, I believe they are better in a big game than Baltimore will be, and I'm a huge Lamar guy, but this Niners team when healthy, they have the best left tackle and offensive lineman in my mind in football, Trent Williams. Imagine if the Packers got a guy like that playing at right tackle for them back in the day. Oh, wow. They have just sneaky. They have.
I won't tell
sneaky
Balaga
things that are great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's who I meant. They have sneaky things that are just great. Like Kyle Juszczyk, their fullback. Like Packer fans are going to be annoyed, I think, this weekend of like, yes, we know Christian McCaffrey's great. We know Deebo and Ayuk are great. We know Purdy his precision is ridiculous. But like, this is also good, and that's also good. I think they're going to frustrate the hell out of Packers fans because they, Jason, when healthy, are literally good at everything. And I don't believe they have a single loss, maybe one, in 2 years. Tight end, quarterback, left tackle, and all play a game from start to finish. They have not lost a game.
Well, Evan, I thought maybe that Brandon Flowers over there would chime in with something else, but he's good. We're good. We appreciate all your time.
Ask me whatever you want, Tausch. Go ahead. You have nothing to say?
No, I'm good, man. I think you covered it. You covered it well today.
Chuck handled everything.
You can ask me what you want to ask me. Go ahead. I'll take it.
Oh, that's why I just text you. So the root of obviously you're a big dog. You're a big dog here at Good Karma Brands, and our boy Mark Chimura yesterday made some comments about that went viral. Which is viral 1 million, or is it? How many do you have to be viral? Considered?
I don't know, but I know the person I would never ask is Chewy because I'm not sure that Chewy knows what viral on the internet actually even means.
No, it's a lot of views, and it went big. Richard Sherman made some comments which are ironic. I sent Jason and Jesse some stuff that Richard Sherman did.
The guy from the Legion of Boom.
Yeah. How did you view all of that? Because obviously I saw a lot of reaction on Twitter and everything else yesterday. As a big dog at Good Karma, how did you view what Chewy said yesterday?
So I've known Chewy for a long time. I know him on the air and I know him off the air. I know his intentions. I know who he is. I know what he's about, and I know the way his mind works. And there was no ill will or bad intent at all. If Mark Chimura said that the Packers' goal was to hurt someone, that's a problem. He said to hit someone. And I think Chewy just said the quiet part out loud. You, as a former player, Tausch, I guarantee you what Chewy said, you guys said in the locker room a million times. I know from playing high school sports and even playing pickup basketball, or pickup sports, that if you know going in you are not as good as the opposition, the number one thing you could do is try to throw them off their game without trying to hurt or damage them. At no point did Chewy say they should try to hurt the Niners. He said they should hit them, and that penalties for 15 yards on one play, if it impacts the rest of the game positively for the Packers, would be worth it. And I understand where he was coming from. I understand how people could look at the headline, not listen to the audio, not know the person, and not know the show, and take it the wrong way. But I know what Chewy said, and I know what Chewy said is what most athletes in big games actually feel. If we know we are not the favorites, how do we go about throwing the opposition off? I believe that is what Chewy meant. I believe that is what Chewy said, and at no point did he suggest hurting anyone with any opposition.
Yeah, I could tell you this. There is no doubt from a player's standpoint, you never want to hurt anybody else. You never want to see somebody get air casted or blown a knee out. Nobody wants any of that. I do believe when you've played this team, they have out-physicaled us almost every time we've played them. And the thing that he was going back to was Wayne Simmons and the tone that they set. What year was that, Jason? 95?
The 95 playoffs, yes.
And if you don't think that set the...
No. That was they win and then they go to Dallas and lose the 95 NFC Championship game. The 49ers were the defending champs. And you guys are both right. That Packers team hit the defending champs in the mouth, figuratively speaking. But they were super physical and set the tone. There was a big fumble early in the game. That was what set that tone for that game, and the Packers got that upset.
Yeah, I think the only where Chewy, you never are ever going to advocate for hurting anybody. Everybody understands that. But to me, it's about what the mentality is going out there. And understanding that if you don't go out there with a big edge and play big-time physical football, you ain't beating San Fran. That's San Fran's identity. That's what they're built on. They run it. They are going to do that. And if you don't match or exceed that, you ain't beating them. And I believe That's the messaging that Chewy was trying to send.
I believe that as well. From knowing Chewy as long as I've known him, I believe that as well.
Evan, thanks. We appreciate you.
All right, guys, thanks.
That is Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. More Wilde and Tausch straight ahead. Stick around.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Even when you think you know what's going on.
And I call him Bird, but he's responding to it, which is a much better name.
You can't say that.
You can never be too sure.
I thought you could. You told me you can say the S word, but you can't say the F word.
No!
Packers, nonsense, chaos.
At
Not
0
true.
points have I ever told you that.
That is not true.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games in the Lambeau snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my favorite go-to drink. That's Carbless. Carbless is a ready-to-drink, handcrafted vodka and tequila cocktail. Even better, it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. And listen to this, less carbonation. This leads to less bloat. I can indulge in something delicious without having that health guilt. Carbless is crafted right here in Wisconsin. It has a flavor for everyone, from black raspberry to cranberry, pineapple and lemon, and my favorite, margarita. Find Carbless online and at a retailer near you. Less is more.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. I've spent a while telling you about Mentality because it works. Not just for me, though. Take it from fellow Mentality user Jason. He's got a new lease on life thanks to Mentality.
Process was easy. It really, truly was. And the individuals that work at Mentality, very helpful, very respectful. It was an easy out. You go in a week after, they give you the results right away. And once you find that you're able to do it, just that thought, the energy already picked up a little bit. Most of it could have been mentally wise, but knowing that, hey, I get to start this, it was incredible.
Learn more today at MoTUSA.com.
For over 4 decades, one name has stood out as a symbol of excellence in automotive sales and service. It's the Boucher Automotive Group, dedicated to providing exceptional experiences to all of our valued customers.
We will help you find the perfect vehicle within your budget while respecting your time.
With 20 convenient locations, we're the one-stop destination for all your automotive needs.
At Boucher, we're your trusted partner on every mile of your journey, riding with you every mile since 1977. The Boucher Group has exciting news to share with you. We've expanded to better serve our community.
Introducing Nissan Lake Country, the newest addition to our family.
Step into our showroom and discover our exceptional selection of brand new Nissans.
We're also stocked with the best pre-owned options in the market.
And as we expand, we're not just growing our inventory, we're also growing our team.
So join a team that values your skills and celebrates your success.
Visit us online or in-store today and view our current job listings at bouchercareers.com.
Drill into deals on top power tool brands at Fleet Farm. We're the top destination for Milwaukee tools with our selection of over 250 power tool options and even more accessories and attachments. And this week, get a Milwaukee 5-tool combo kit for just $219.99. Buy a 2-pack of M18 red lithium batteries and get a free M18 cordless portable tire inflator. Save on powerful tools for your everyday jobs from brands you trust at Fleet Farm.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Brought to you by Great Clips. Scan the QR code at participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. Terms apply. Scan QR code in salon for details. Coming to Fiserv Forum this weekend.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Thanks to Evan Cohen You can hear him every
Jason,
weekday morning on Unsportsmanlike. Yes, Tausch.
5 to 9 on these very stations, right?
Well, not on all these stations because on ESPN Milwaukee it's 7 to 9. Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know what he's gone rogue. He's texting Evan behind our backs about topics that he wants to address, not including us in that conversation. Just suddenly springing it on us. Now you're interrupting me. Well, that's not new.
That's not new.
You just finished my sentence for me, which is again concerning.
The crux of the whole Chewy thing with Richard Sherman and everything, it really comes down to this, because it's not about late hits and stupid penalties. Like, nobody wants any of that. The crux of it is, and I want to ask you this, is this Green Bay Packers team more physical than last year's? Is this Packers team more capable of dealing with the physicality San Francisco is going to bring? That, to me, is storyline question 1B outside of the Shanny LaFleur deal. That's the crux of the matter. And what is the answer according to you?
No.
Why do you say that? Well, I'll say this. I think defensively they play with a different veracity than we do.
Yeah,
I just watched that. You watched that Ravens game, and honestly what I thought was, I always will look at, I watch a lot of Big Ten football. And the
Iowa,
Big Ten,
mostly.
There's physical plays, but there's a different speed when Georgia plays Alabama. There's a different speed of line of scrimmage and how fast linebackers flow and how hard they hit. I watched that Ravens-Niners game. That looked, and I think that was the same weekend as Carolina-Green Bay.
It was.
Jesse will correct me if I'm wrong.
It was Christmas Day
and
night. Yeah.
I watched both of those games, and I thought, these two teams are playing different. These two games this is a different level. This was Big
different
Ten.
Sport,
like the Big Ten West this season versus, because Michigan played pretty good. And what the SEC big boys. Because I remember when Georgia played Alabama on a national championship a couple years ago, and I thought, this is not college football.
I don't recognize
That's
this
kind of
product.
That's kind of what I noticed when I watched Baltimore and San Fran go blow to blow. And by the way, Baltimore said, boop, boop. They threw some haymakers and punched that bully in the face.
Is that what a haymaker sounds like, though? I feel like it would sound more like...
That sounded like opening a Coors Light.
As opposed to...
That's what that sounded.
It doesn't sound like... Boop.
Anyway, to your point,
Batman landing haymakers on the Joker.
Super annoying. But the point
Hello,
and
Kettle,
the crux
this is
of the
Potts.
matter is,
you're black.
I think Packer fans are nervous about that component of it.
So can I answer the question you asked me?
We've seen this movie before. Yeah.
Well, it's 10:04. I get the clock management jokes now. I think this is a concern on both sides of the ball, because I think on the Packers defense compared to the 49ers offense, it's a concern because Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Ayuk is good at breaking tackles, which he's not as big of a dude. And then, obviously, Christian McCaffrey. Their yak numbers, which, as Joe Barry was nice enough to explain to me yesterday, is yards after the catch.
Yards after contact, too, right?
Yeah, that's very confusing. It's both. Yeah. They're good in that way. And I don't know, other than maybe Jonathan Owens, who seems to play with a reckless abandon when it comes to hitting, and maybe Quay Walker, I don't know if you look at anybody and say, God, these guys are physical on the Packers defense.
Rashawn Gary's physical. Rashawn Gary
Gary has been not as big of a factor as you would like him to be as an elite pass rusher. So, and I don't think if you look at his edge holding against the run, it is as good as you would like it to be either. That said, he is still a really good player who is coming off an ACL, who I am withholding judgment on this season on because I want to see what he does next year. But since he got his contract, his numbers have not been what you would like to see right after a contract is signed.
I like that. Motivate him. I like it, Wilde. Motivate him.
It's not that. I am not ripping him there. The numbers are the numbers.
Kind of ripping him. It's kind of ripping him.
All right. One of the reasons why I didn't want to go into the Chewy thing is because I believe that when small clips of larger shows end up on social media, this is the kind of stuff that happens. And this is the kind of stuff I'd like to avoid when I'm having this conversation with you right now.
In fairness, the Chewy clip was in full form. That wasn't edited down. That was Richard Sherman interpreting what he wanted to interpret.
Right.
In my opinion.
I would agree with that assessment on Richard Sherman, who, again, I do enjoy the irony of being part of the Legion of Boom.
Did you see that clip I sent you, the cheap blank that he threw at Devontae? Did you get that clip I sent you guys?
I saw that
What
in
is
person.
he talking about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My point to the matchup that matters most, which we will talk more about in the 10 o'clock hour, is the 49ers are physical. Their defense is physical against your offense, but their offense is physical against your defense too. And that is a legitimate concern for the Packers to carry into this game. And I think Matt LaFleur has been very adamant about the importance of that with his team. And I think, frankly, that he's trying to take it light on them during the week here, because he wants them to be able to be physical come Saturday night. So, like, they jogged through yesterday. They're going to jog through mostly today. All that kind of stuff.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Do you think Matt LaFleur thinks he's got a physical football team?
Not a physical enough football team. I think he thinks he has some physical players.
Okay.
But not enough of them. And we'll see what their defense looks like a year from now, potentially with a new defensive coordinator. We'll get to that conversation coming up. We'll check in on yesterday's poll question. Want to remind you, tomorrow we will have our Steinhoffel Sleepers of the Week. But today is a good day.
Win for old T last week. Big W for old T last week in the Steinhoffler. You betcha.
Not sure that's true, but be that as it may, a good day starts with a great night's sleep on a new Tempur-Pedic mattress from Steinhoffels. Take your sleep to the next level with the Tempur-Pedic Ergo Smart Base, powered by Sleep Tracker AI. If Joe Barry was here, he'd say AI. That's artificial intelligence. That automatically responds to snoring by raising your head, giving you a better, more restful night's sleep. Ergo Smart Bases start at just $42 a month with Steinhoffel's 60-month financing, and you'll get $300 in Steinhoffel's cash. So shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Steinhoffels, it's your mattress destination. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes. Stick around.
Go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee. It's time for the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart, located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. National Liquor Mart is packed with deals for all your beverage needs, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily.
It was a night to forget for the Bucks as they were blasted on the road by the Cleveland Cavaliers. Final score 135-95. Milwaukee played without Giannis, who missed the game with a right shoulder contusion. Jay Crowder made his return to the lineup for the first time since November 11th. Finished with 15 points and 19 minutes off the bench. Dame Lillard led the year with 17 points.
He hands the ball off, and it's going to be taken away by Lillard as he picks the pocket of Strus. Takes it in and lays it off the window on the other side. So Milwaukee has got it back to single digits.
The Bucks fall to 28-13 overall. Next up, a visit to the Motor City to face the Detroit Pistons Saturday afternoon.
This has been the Milwaukee Basketball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
We know that the people of Wisconsin are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
You are listening to the home of the Green Bay Playoff Plunge. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Hey, Tausch, are you still thinking about shifting to maybe the standing microphone? I feel like we discussed this with you at one point. Was that something you were considering?
I don't want to put more work. Yeah, I don't want to put more work on Jesse. I've already getting him digi only and putting headlines together. We'll look at that once the Packers finish their season up in Las Vegas. We'll take
you want like a Bob Barker microphone walking around?
Oh, the tiny little skinny one.
Fun. Can we get that? Like a handheld?
I'm sure we could.
Does Drew Carey use that? Because I know you're very concerned about Drew Carey not getting the credit he deserves for as long as he's hosted The Price is Right.
He's coming up on 20 years hosting that thing. He's done a great job.
Drew Carey can't carry Bob Barker's job.
Or his microphone.
He literally has filled in, taking over for. He's Aaron Rodgers to Bob Barker's Brett Favre.
He is not.
Yes, he is.
He is not.
He's been doing it for 20 years. The Jeopardy host didn't make it a year filling in when Trebek passed. Mayim Bialik, she didn't even make it a year.
Wait, Blossom is out?
Yeah, she's out. Yeah, it's Ken Jennings full time now. Which Ken,
how is Ken Jennings? That's such a joke too. How did Ryan Seacrest?
Why are you such a Ken Jennings hater? What did he ever do to you?
I don't like Ken Jennings. No,
that much is clear.
You think Seacrest is going to be doing Wheel of Fortune for 25 years after Sajak hangs it up?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I've told you before, there ain't a greater job on earth than what Pat Sajak had. Not a greater job on earth.
Just want some respect on Drew Carey's name coming up on 20 years.
He's fine, but
Barker.
He is not in the same league as. It's not the Favre to Rodgers pass off that you think. It's not.
If you would have told the GM of The Price is Right, you're going to get Drew Carey taking over for Bob Barker, and you're going to get 20 years out of him, and this thing's still going to be cooking at full speed through a pandemic, through all kinds of changes in the media landscape. This show's still going to be number one in the 10 a.m. time slot 20 years from now. Sign me up for that if I'm
You have no
Brian
idea if
Gutekunst
it's
of The Price is Right.
You have no idea if it's number one in its time slot. You have no clue on that.
What time is Murder, She Wrote on?
I will now fact check.
All right. I don't know how I managed to do this, but I can find you the contraption on Amazon. I got it myself. If you're looking for it, but the point I was going to make was I had one of my fellow coaches at basketball practice last night. We were talking about the Packers and their run, and I will get to why I'm feeling a little bit fan-ish, not a fan, but fan-ish a little bit later in the hour. But he's like, well, you do radio, you sit around all day. I'm like, no, I do. I stand up. I feel like my energy is better. And I thought, hey, I think Tausch was thinking about that. So we'll work on that. I don't want to put more on Jesse's plate either because Lord knows you put plenty on his plate as it is. Now, let's get to Joe Barry. We did a poll yesterday. And as is seemingly often the case, if not always the case, you almost nailed precisely what the poll was going to end up as. So the poll question was this: as much as you as a fan are enjoying the G&G's playoff run, are you worried that their postseason success will lead to Matt LaFleur keeping Joe Barry? 56.2% said, nope, just enjoy the ride. But 43.8%, which is not a statistically insignificant percentage, yep, I worry about that.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, Joe Barry spoke with us, and when he wasn't explaining to me what yak was, we were also he was different yesterday. I saw Matt Steinman wrote a story in The Athletic based on his reaction to my question, because I thought he seemed happier. Like that Marshmallow song.
Get his swagger back.
Just, again, I feel like I'm a fairly observant person about people and their moods and how they're feeling and their affect. And he seemed, as he waltzed in and made a joke about not knowing what day it was, he seemed different than he had been for the previous month. Here is that exchange. You be the judge.
Joe. I don't want to make too big of a deal of your entrance here, but I feel like the last couple of weeks, especially after some of the tougher questions we had to ask, it didn't feel like you were necessarily yourself with us, right? There wasn't a joke. There wasn't, like, it was a challenging time. It feels like we've gotten you back a little bit based on the start here. Did you?
One thing you know about me, I'm the same person every day. So you can.
Rough, you thought, you were the same person?
Sure. That's the gauntlet of an NFL football season, And it's, I don't know if I've said it to you guys before, but I say it, especially to a lot of young coaches. If you're in this thing long enough, you're going to experience the highest of highs, and unfortunately, you're going to experience the lowest of lows. And that's part of when you sign up for the National Football League. That's part of the deal.
What do you think how do you feel about what you're experiencing now, which is certainly higher than it had been? Does it feel good to have your guys playing the way they are?
Oh, of course. This is a show me league. It's a show me business. It's a production-based business, and it's brutal and harsh at times. But of course, when the guys, both from a player standpoint, everybody. I don't care if you're a coach, a player, or whatever. When you're in this, it's about winning, and it's about playing good, and it's about production. That's what makes this league so great and so incredibly competitive. So, I told the guys a month ago when we were still playing relevant football in December, nothing's better now. We're one of 8 teams right now, and we're playing relevant football in January. So it's exciting.
All right, now let me state for the record, I like Joe Barry as a guy. He is a very nice man, and if you talk to people that work in the building, he is an authentic, friendly, nice, thoughtful guy. Yeah,
same guy every day.
You're not, but that's not true. I mean, and that's where I was headed.
Liar.
Thank you for finishing my sentence. Yes, he's a liar. Liar.
Don't soundgraph that, Jesse.
Can't wait for that. Wilde calls Packers defensive coordinator liar. He was mentioning how hard the week had been on him and his family after the Tampa Bay game. I'm sorry. None of us, we all try to be the same person, but when things get really, you can't be the same person. You can try like hell to be the same person, but if you got everybody and their brother talking about how you should get fired, you're not going to be the same person. You're going to be down in the dumps. You're frustrated. Your daughter is getting asked questions at her high school. Your wife is reading the blogs and whatever else. Like, you can't, it's okay to admit that you were struggling with, because you told us you were. You and your family, it was a tough week for you. And now your group has played better and you're feeling better about it. Now, maybe you're not going to retain your job like Mike McCarthy did. Who knows what's in store? But it's great that you strive to be the same person every day, Tausch. But it's okay if you're not when things suck, right?
Coaches want to be consistent. They want to be consistent with their messaging. That's what they're trying to do.
I understand.
And I've always said, and I know everybody doesn't listen every day, but it's when coaches let their hair down and let you see their authentic self and let you know that they're hurting or that they're in a great spot. That's always the most powerful stuff. And I bet you could ask every player I played with that was in certain meetings with Mike or with Mike Sherman, and I bet they have the same memories that I do when it comes to when they opened up and really let the emotions go. You can't do that all the time. And I think Joe Barry, whether or not he did this because he was trying to galvanize his group, or if it was because his back was against the wall, the guys have responded to the struggles that they had against Tampa and Carolina, and they've played markedly better. Now, the part we don't know, how much of that was Matt LaFleur's doing, I don't know that. I don't think you know that. But Joe Barry deserves credit for turning it around. And you can also say that doesn't mean he's going to be back next year. I think Packer fans, this is going to sound crazy, but when Ray Lewis in the playoff run announced that he was going to retire, that galvanized his group. That was a big galvanization. When Peyton Manning was everybody kind of knew that he was going to retire. Hold up, stop laughing. When Peyton Manning was going to retire, Denver's group rallied around that part. If Joe Barry came and said, I'm going to retire after we win the world championship, just imagine you got 40% of the Packer fans that are nervous about this. It would galvanize the fan base to saying, we can win this one for Joe. We can win this for Joe, and we get this new great young core of offensive players with a new defensive coordinator. You would unify the Green Bay Packers fan base around that statement of let's win this one because I am going to call it a day or I'm going to move on to a different gig after the season's over. You think it's crazy? And
No,
it might be.
I don't think. So let me get this straight. We love you so much that we want to win so desperately so you won't be our coach anymore. That's your theory.
I'm only saying.
Are you
this
hearing yourself right now?
And you think
Yes,
I've
but
said
I'm
some
saying
stupid
this
things on this show?
I'm saying this for the fan base. I'm not saying this for his group. He is, of course, he's never going to say this.
Let's go out and win this so Joe quits.
I'm saying from a fan perspective. How many votes did we have? Jason, how many votes did we have? 2,000?
Joe quits on 3. 1, 2, 3, Joe quits.
No, Joe is sent off with a championship. Would be it. How many votes did we have yesterday? 2,000?
Yes.
That ballpark?
Yeah, right up.
Okay,
right,
so 40% of 2,000 is what, Jesse? 800?
800, yes.
Hey, let's call it 800. So you have that. That's a pretty good chunk of Packer fans. And you have a lot of Packer fans. You have Packer fans that are looking at this and saying, "Oh, I want to win, but I don't want Joe Barry back." And if you want to unify the group, come out and make this declaration.
So if they don't win, he gets fired, and if they do win, they send him off?
It's not ideal for Joe. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Like a
this isn't an ideal situation for Joe.
Kind of situation.
But this,
I make my own.
The bottom line is, there is a lot of folks that are under the viewpoint of, I just don't want Joe Barry back under any circumstances. And how this plays out the next 2 or 3 weeks, I don't have a great read. Matt LaFleur likes Joe Barry a lot. We all know that. He has been very patient with him. But there is no doubt, and you sense it when you hear him talk, that I think he thinks somebody could be better.
All right. It's like that time that Michael Spink said, if I get knocked out in 91 seconds, I'm going to retire. Let's move on. Tell us about Prize Picks. That was I'm with Dave. That was via the text line. Old T, that was the best take ever. Seriously, my cheeks are so sore from laughing so hard. Like, I don't know how many times I was out of the camera's view when I was doubled over there, but that was... You're a genius. That's why I love doing the show with you.
Peyton Manning, Ray Lewis, and Joe Barry.
Win one for the Gipper.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. I think everybody here would be pretty happy if the Green Bay Packers win a world championship. Everybody but Joe Barry. And I don't know how to segue over to this, but Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy, and it is simple. Pick 2 to 6 players. Bucks got smoked last night. Giannis didn't even play, so I didn't dabble too much on Prize Picks last night, but you can pick 6. You got your Free Flex Friday coming tomorrow where you can win up to 25x on your money. You're not competing against other people, just Prize Picks' projections. And check this out. This is new. This is new part of this whole operation. Prize Picks is the only daily fantasy sports platform with injury insurance to keep you in the game even if one of your players goes down. And over 7 million sports fans have already signed up. I'm one of them. Join me. Watch your favorite players, and you can get paid having a lot of fun doing it. Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just download the Prize Picks app. Use promo code WI. That's promo code WI. Prize Picks for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
I've lost control of the show. I've lost control of the clock, and we're going to win one for Joe. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I cannot imagine that there's any way that he missed the game because he's unhappy that the game was on turf. I think that's preposterous to me.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30.
I thought they looked great. I got to be honest, I think that's what I kind of expected from the Packers.
Presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Also sponsored by Construction Business Group and Island Resort and Casino.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Ready to conquer the Midwest's premier winter playground? Then start planning a visit to Granite Peak. With over 200 acres of skiable terrain, Granite Peak has something for everyone. From beginners to seasoned pros, park skiers to mogul fanatics, and everything in between. Soar to new heights on their state-of-the-art chairlifts and warm up in the cozy historic chalet with roaring fireplaces and stunning views. A legendary winter adventure begins at Granite Peak. Don't miss out. Visit skigranitepeak.com to book your winter vacation now, and for more information, Granite Peak. Legendary winters, legendary fun.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Bunzels.com.
A new year means new goals for Wisconsin hoops teams. The red and white will make a run to the tournament, and Milwaukee is eyeing up a playoff run in the spring. As Wisconsin's 3PL, Evans Transportation, knows, it takes a team effort to make those runs, and when it comes to manufacturers' accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, Evans is the supply chain team for you. Good luck to all Wisconsin hoops teams from Wisconsin's 3PL. Find them at evanstrans.com.
The Saganiac Planning Fantastic Finish. February 23rd, 2010. Marquette at St. John's tied at 61 in overtime. 5 seconds left. Jimmy Butler with the ball at the top of the key. He dribbled right. The ball was knocked away. It's 10 feet from the hoop on the right lane. Butler ran the ball down in the right corner, grabbed the ball with his back to the basket, turned left, and fired the jumper all in one motion. So wait, from 12 feet away. Oh, baby, the Butler did it. 63-61 Marquette in OT.
Help protect your team with slam dunk coverage. Saganiac Planning can coach you on ways to save money on medical and specialty plans through United Healthcare, which is one of the largest provider networks in Wisconsin. Call John Saganiac Jr. 262-783-6161. That's John Jr. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. Insurance coverage provided by or through United Healthcare Insurance Company or its affiliates. Administrative services provided by United Healthcare Services, Inc. or its affiliates. Health plan coverage provided by or through United Healthcare of Wisconsin, Inc.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around. Said I don't wanna leave you lonely. You gotta make me change my mind.
That was really fun. I enjoyed that. And again, as is oftentimes the case, when your first initial reaction is to roll your eyes or say, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you're absolutely right. Because from a fan base perspective, that's exactly, it's true. It was hilarious, and it was fun to
Jason,
imagine the locker room.
Of course, Joe's not going to say, all right, guys, I'm out of here if we win. But I'm telling you, I think our fan base, the thing people are really nervous about, which it should just be all about celebrating the fact that this team has grown to this
Plucky
point.
underdog.
And you have 800 of the 2,000 people that responded yesterday are, I'm nervous, though, about Joe Barry staying, which is it's crazy, right? So this would alleviate that. I mean, obviously that's not going to happen, but you know how I always said back in the Goody days, when win 2 championships, MVP, trade Rodgers for 4 first-round picks, and move on? That was the dream scenario. I think for 95% of Packers fans, the dream scenario would be winning a world championship, bringing in a new defensive coordinator, and having a different, better defense next year with this young core. That's the crux of what I was talking about. That's funny now, Eric. That's funny.
Eric in Green Bay. I was driving past Lambeau during Old T's segment, and I couldn't stop laughing. If we pull this off, does Joe Barry get a statue? Yes, and Tausch will help. Tausch will help do the fundraising drive for it.
No, I think if this defense is good enough this week and does what it did last week, the whole narrative on Joe Barry is going to flip. But the thing is, it'll flip with some, but it's still going to stay. We have JB PTSD.
Yeah, nailed it.
We have it. There is no surprise.
It's yards after contact.
Packer fans, just for what I guess with some validation, he is not as bad as everybody.
Feel the way they do. They do have. It's a very fair opinion.
Agree. It's an opinion. It's fair, but it's also a little unfair.
Yeah.
Because he's also had some games. What he did with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, now that's not a juggernaut. They played good defense that night.
They did.
Against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Against the team that
they played
has struggled
good defense
offensively a lot.
Against Jared Goff up in Detroit. That game was not as close as the final score indicated. Neither was Sunday. That game was dominated by the Packers defense in the first half. They don't get a couple of garbanzo calls. They don't score. They're shut out in the first half. So,
was this written in all caps?
Yep.
Did you copy and paste this?
Does that mean you're mad, right? You're mad.
So I use all caps sometimes when I'm excited. Like, heck yeah! And I'm not mad.
Not
it's an anger thing.
Not when it's a 40-word text message.
Not when it starts with
That's
unless
a lot,
you
yeah.
goofs. They called you goofs.
Remember, remember to include your name on your text so we can add that to our contact list. 262. Unless you goofs think you could do a better job at defense, I wouldn't make fun of the guy. He can only do so much. It's the players that need to perform. No punctuation used at all.
Well, that's okay when it's all
262.
caps.
I have been I have been very critical of some of the players. I always say this isn't, the defensive coordinator, always being at fault for everything. I've been very fair to Joe Barry.
Yeah,
very fair.
Look, Matt LaFleur had the opportunity after Tampa, and then when he spoke to us the next day, to make it very clear that he had no intention of firing Joe Barry. Instead, he did not answer in the definitive after the game, and the next day he said, and I quote, "If I felt that was the right decision, I would have made it." So you can all caps us all you want. We did have some fun with that. Look, Joe Barry has done a very good job over the last month. Their defense has played well. No one is questioning that. But a portion, 262, of the fan base is worried that their success will lead to him keeping his job. That was the premise of us goofing around with that. But his track record is not uber impressive. And there are going to be some free agent defensive coordinators that the Packers should have some interest in. This isn't personal.
Run it back.
This isn't personal against Joe Barry.
Joe just said it. Yeah, Joe said it with your question yesterday, Jason. It's a big boy league. A lot of criticism comes in when you're the defensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. You get more shrapnel than the offensive coordinator and the head coach. That's how this works in Green Bay.
Yeah.
At least at this point in Matt LaFleur's tenure.
This Packers run has delayed our chance to have a new bathroom done by Kohler Services, because every time I text or email Doug, I say, yeah, as soon as the Packers season is over, we can get this taken care of. And they just keep winning, and it keeps going well. So my bathroom is not yet improved, but once I have the chance to do it, it'll be with Kohler Services.
And hopefully Jason has to wait until middle of February. Valentine's Day present. You're thinking about updating your bath or shower? Well, turn to Kohler Services for end-to-end bath and shower remodeling, where Kohler Design consultants and installers, they do the work for you. You don't have to be out there, you putting on too tight of pants and shimmying down, trying to bust open that old bath. Kohler Services got it done. Family-owned for 150 years. Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer, providing care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
So I understand that Doug and his team have not come to my house yet, but I know they've taken care of your bathroom. Do they all wear tight pants?
No. Plumber's crack, you know what I mean? Jesse down there trying to jimmy open an old bathtub with an old crowbar. His pants are too snug, his butt showing, and he's doing. You don't want that. Get Kohler Services team out there. You don't want butt crack showing. Maybe.
Oh my God!
Sounded kind of personal.
You don't want to get tight
that's
pants.
Typically. Hey, Jesse, that's typically live reads. It is personal. That's the whole point. I knew when I said it, you guys were going to be busting my chops, and I'm okay with it.
Tight pants and a swim shirt. Why you change out your bathroom? Just let Kohler Services do it. Please.
Well, they do it themselves. You know that. Professional. Very professional.
You goofs.
I don't know why people are texting us saying we're goofs. No idea at all. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Here in Wisconsin, we love our sports year-round, right down to the Packers games in the Lambeau snow. If you want to show your love for the green and gold every day, you got it with Associated Bank's exclusive Packers checking account. A one-of-a-kind debit card, a 10% discount at the Packers Pro Shop, plus everything you'll score as an Associated Bank customer. Best of all, you'll get a banking partner based right here in the Midwest. Visit AssociatedBank.com/Packers to get started today. You've got this with Associated Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace for the Bath Authority. If your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold and mildew, or broken tiles, you gotta call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. Elevate your bathroom to a new level of luxury, style, and safety. Schedule your free in-home estimate today and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath plus 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
The green and gold and playoff football. Are you going to be ready come game time? HD TVs in every room. Check. Green and gold flag out front. Check. Grill ready to fire up. Check. Chips, dips, cheesehead. Check, check, check. Now the real planning begins. A trip to Discount Liquor to complete your own personal playoff party. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. Is beer on the menu? We'll set you up with your favorite or recommend something new. We have over 2,000 to choose from. What about liquor? Our variety is unmatched, as is our selection of wine. So if you want it, we've got it. Discount Liquor is your personal playoff party headquarters. Discount Liquor has everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Maine in downtown Waukesha. Open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2.
Discount Liquor.
TMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Nagging pain lasting for months, difficulty performing everyday tasks, not moving like you'd like, it's time to see the doctor. And I recommend Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Anytime I've needed care, the appointments are timely, no waiting weeks to be seen, and no pressure to have surgery. It's about getting the right diagnosis and choosing a treatment plan that fits your life. No question where I turn if I'm injured again. The experts in care at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. It's orthowisconsin.com.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Fiserv Forum this weekend. Brought to you by BKT Tires and Great Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
Kessler's gives you diamond choices that no one else can give you.
We have all the colors and clarities and carat weights of diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers, newborn created diamonds.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Tell them what an anniversary diamond is, Monica.
An anniversary diamond can be twice as big as the one in her engagement ring.
Why twice as big?
Every diamond makes a statement.
Okay.
The anniversary diamond says, I love you twice as much today as the day I married you.
Now tell them about our miraculous no small print warranty.
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate.
We've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I still want to get to why I'm feeling a little fan-ish, but I'm going to need some time to recover from the last couple seconds.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So, yes, careful with those too tight pants over there. So, yesterday, you guys are always very concerned about how I spend my locker room time. You know, if I spend a little too much time with Rudy Ford, you're irritated.
The only time we were irritated, you were mad at a certain player. You didn't want to talk to him, so you went over and were jabbering with Rudy Ford, and then you tried to justify it, which you know you couldn't.
I did.
But then I had a great little story from Rudy Ford.
Be that as it may. And I'm happy to report, I did correspond with the player you're referring to recently.
Interesting.
Still a little concerned about
Did
him.
he take you up on your offer?
Not yet, but
Okay.
claimed that we would chat.
Interesting.
We'll see. I did chat with Jordan Love yesterday, speaking of that other player, and I tell me if I lied to Jordan Love in my questions to him, because I said that I have tried, and I think most of us in the local media have tried, to not do a whole lot of compare and contrast. Jordan versus Aaron, Jordan versus Favre, whatever, Jordan versus Sean Clifford, as some fans were doing during preseason. But I do think the way this offense is operating, vis-a-vis the way it was being operated by Aaron Rodgers and his encyclopedic knowledge of the game, is different. And I wanted to get at that. Now, maybe we'll have time tomorrow. Adam Stenavich, man, these former offensive linemen, you want to get the straight dope. Hope that an offensive lineman ends up as the offensive coordinator or as your radio host, because they are awesome. And he had some really interesting insight into that yesterday. But I did ask Jordan Love, and I may have thrown our buddy Rob Domofsky under the bus in the process a little bit.
May have.
He actually looked at me and said, "What did I do?" As that question was being asked. Here is our exchange in the locker room with Jordan Love. I don't feel like locally we've asked you a lot of comparing you to Aaron questions, but Rob just did, and I'm curious about, for you, Matt kind of got irritated this summer when we would keep saying it was going to be a truer version of Matt's offense we were going to see. Is that true, though? Like, Aaron did have that big, huge Rolodex of plays in his history, and you don't have that yet. Are you running this offense in a more kind of purer form of what Matt came up with? Because you were here for the years that Aaron was kind of running that hybrid version.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been here, this is the offense I know, so I couldn't tell you, honestly. I don't know a lot of things what it's been like before, but I do know Aaron obviously had a lot of plays that he's ran in his past that we'd bring up and things like that. I think all that stuff it's been implemented in our offense, kind of become part of our identity too. So, this is really all I know, so I can't really answer that question.
So you've had great off-schedule plays, though, certainly. But is it more? You think it's fair to say more frequently you take what the call is and maybe you make an adjustment, like the protection adjustment on the zero blitz, but more often than not you're doing kind of what the coach calls. Is that fair?
Yeah. Just operating within the system. There's plays that we'll get to checks when we get a pressure that we can't pick up, things like that. But for the most part, it's trying to get the play I have called and find the best answer for whatever coverage the defense might be getting to us. But, we have certain checks that we can get to, for the most part, it's operating within that system and finding the best answer.
Tausch, put on your Tausch translator hat there. What did you think of his answer? Because it was the first question, besides throwing Rob under the bus, probably didn't articulate it well. The follow-up, though, got me what I was curious about, which is he's running the plays that are called.
You're known for your follow-ups.
I am,
You're known for a good follow-up. That's one of your specialties.
Yeah.
It tells me that Jordan Love is not just like LaFleur. Don't really want to talk about Aaron Rodgers anymore. Appreciate what he's done, but this offense is what Matt LaFleur wants. Jordan Love is in a spot in his career where it's working. So, of course, you're going to continue to do that, and you're not going to override your coach. But there's still some room for the quarterback to see things that they study, that they can understand, and that they can implement a better play, because coaches want the best play called. It isn't the old days where it's just, we're going to run this. That's what we're doing. All right? We have cans. We have can nots. We have... All right, we have to check this. We have to audit. There's still things that are going to get drawn up, but for the most part, you're not seeing as much Aaron Rodgers kind of hold up. You're seeing the motion come, and you're seeing the play run. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think Jordan Love is just saying, well, yeah, what we're doing is working. We're going to keep doing it. And the trust between Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love is really high because Jordan Love is executing what Matt LaFleur's calling, and Jordan Love is seeing it and saying Matt LaFleur knows what he's doing. I got guys running wide open. So it's a win-win. That's what I saw.
All right. We don't have time to get to this today, so squeeze it into the show sheet tomorrow, Jesse. The most compelling thing that I heard, and it'll be front and center in my story in the State Journal on Saturday morning before the game, Adam Stenovich said that there were times when the offense would come off the field and the coaches were trying to figure out what was called during that drive.
That's not good.
So that tells you where things were at times with a guy who had as much experience as the future Hall of Fame quarterback that was there first. That is not occurring now. And maybe someday it will again, right? If Jordan Love plays at that level and wins some MVPs, he's going to have more sway at the line of scrimmage and changing plays, and he'll have a greater Rolodex of plays. But right now, like Tausch said, it's working, and you don't mess with what's working. All right, we need to play some trivia. Jesse, what'd you put together as today's category, and is Tausch participating?
Tausch is participating in the form of asking 2 of the 3 questions, yes. Putting him back to
3.
Yeah, we're putting you back to work today.
You better rest up for the next segment.
Better read that show sheet.
The category is playoff potpourri. Tausch will ask 2 of the 3 questions. That, I think, leaves me with 1, if my math is right. Caller 10, since we just got done talking about Jordan Love. Caller 10 right now. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 10 to play Wilde and Tausch Trivia, and we'll do that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio. Kyle Bruston Nortman, weekdays from 2 to 5.
Never, ever, ever getting back together. You go talk. Oh, that's.
Oh, you were off.
You were off. I'm off. I was off.
Presented by Bud Light and sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Getting back together. There we go.
We're just as good as her.
We really are.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, right here on 94.5 ESPN. And subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
Drill into deals on top power tool brands at Fleet Farm. We're the top destination for Milwaukee tools with our selection of over 250 power tool options and even more accessories and attachments. And this week, get a Milwaukee 5-tool combo kit for just $219.99. Buy a 2-pack of M18 red lithium batteries and get a free M18 cordless portable tire inflator. Save on powerful tools for your everyday jobs from brands you trust at Fleet Farm.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is Pewaukee star basketball player Nick Janowski. In a battle of D1 commits last week, Janowski and the Pirates took care of Jaquan Johnson and the Pius Popes in overtime, 84-71. Janowski's squad did not allow a point in overtime. And in the win, the senior Janowski also put up 40 points. He's averaging just over 30 points a game this season. Already committed to play basketball at the next level as well, intending to head to Nebraska to play for the Cornhuskers. A 6'3 guard, Janowski and the Pewaukee Pirates have a couple games on tap this week, taking on New Berlin West and Franklin. Congratulations to this week's Student Athlete of the Week, Nick Janowski, and good luck the rest of the season.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution, and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. Why do so many people live years with back tax problems? You didn't file one year because you were sick or thought you couldn't pay. Then next year you didn't file again. Soon you think you can't file. You do things that don't make sense or may be illegal. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you make the right choice and step up to get them off your back. Do you want your paycheck garnished, a lien on your house, your passport revoked, or your bank account wiped out? We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and file back tax returns. My latest book has advice on what to do to avoid trouble with the IRS. Make the right choice. Go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or in-person meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Q Club of Wisconsin is a hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
Gary, we have so much going on. We're still the place to be on game days to catch the green and gold. Book a holiday party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Plus, we got great live music every Saturday night. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Hey, we're serious about that after the Packers season ends, whenever that may be, after they win one for Joe to quit. We're going to work on our... It's true, that's the discussion we had earlier.
You know how many options I have to title the podcast at this 10 o'clock hour?
You'll be able to find it on Wisconsin On Demand, where you get all your other podcasts. Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, and Stitcher. But we're going to do this Fan Hall of Fame thing, right? We're going to have our first class, and we're going to do that.
I think so, but again, I'm always, every time I have an initiative or something I want to do, I'm always nervous because you guys say I'm putting too much work on Jesse. I'm always cautious about
You're never
too
cautious.
Much work.
No, you're not.
When it comes to that, do I think we should do that? Yes, I do.
Are we going to have?
Am I nervous?
Jackets?
Am I nervous about leaving some people out? I am, because this has been a banner year and a really good start to the 2024 campaign. And there's a lot of folks that I'm thinking are uber deserving of who should be even nominated.
Yeah, but Leroy Butler waited 20 years to get in the Hall of Fame. Like, there's classes every year. There's classes every year.
That first group is going to be looked at in a real special way, though. You know that.
Inaugural. Yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
first annual. That's one of my pet peeves. Sorry. Inaugural. Well done, Jesse. Thank you.
We're calling it the first annual Wilde and Tausch Hall of Fame.
Just to irritate me. Yeah. Yes, I appreciate that. All right. I just thought.
How's that? I know we should do this off air, but since we do everything on air, where do you think? How does that process work? Who's going to be the nominators? Who's going to be the committee that actually votes them in?
How
is that going to work?
The three of us.
Who's nominating?
The three of us and Tony Cartagena, because he was the first producer of the show, should be the panel, like the Hall of Fame voters.
Well, in fairness, Josh DiMaggio has produced as much as Jesse has this calendar year.
Dang, that's. Wow.
Is that's hard? That's hard.
So you're very cautious about the extra work you give them, but you're happy to chuck that shot at them. We'll work on that.
A Gerald Ford legacy nominee or something like that.
We absolutely should have some of those.
Started reading that book on Ford. Pretty interesting.
Put me in the Hall of Fame, and I'll never listen to the show again. Joe Barry nominee. Anyway, I just thought this guy might have a chance to be nominated. He's played trivia with us a lot. He came to Steinhoffel's to see us during his route one time in Madison. It's Jerry in the Prairie. Jerry, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Oh, JP.
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Jerry, if you don't get into the inaugural class of the Wilde and Tausch Hall of Fame, but you eventually get in like Leroy Butler, or like Jerry Kramer, longtime friend of the show, will you be disappointed or will you be honored whenever it occurs?
I would be honored whenever it occurs. I don't.
Okay.
I don't get disappointed about such things like that.
We appreciate you. Well, we hope you won't be disappointed by trivia. The category is playoff potpourri. Mark Tauscher has question number 1.
All right, Jerry. Which of these time zones plays host to the majority of games in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs this weekend? Is it the Eastern time zone, the Pacific time zone, or most games take place where time changes are not observed?
Oh, boy. Let me think. Who's in the playoffs here? I'm going to go with Houston. Let's go Eastern.
Nailed it.
I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. That's Jesse. How does that break down?
Baltimore, Detroit, and Buffalo are all Eastern, and the Packers go out west to the Pacific time zone.
Well done. 1 for 1. All right, Jerry.
I forgot about Baltimore. I hit the other two.
Yeah. And then you said Houston, and I'm like, Houston's not hosting. And they're in the Central time zone, which would have really thrown you off. Yeah. Well, you got it right. That's what matters. All right, let's try to get question 2 right, and that is this. How many former NFL regular season MVP winners are playing in the postseason this weekend? This requires a lot of thought.
Former MVPs.
Former NFL MVPs. How many are there in this year's remaining final 8 teams? Is there 1? Are there 2? Or are there 3?
Oh, boy. Only 1. Let me see. 2. I can only think of 2. I'm going to go with 2.
Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, the only 2.
Those are the 2 I thought of.
Well done, Baker Mayfield.
Christian McCaffrey should be the MVP this year, but
he
will
should
not
be.
Get that. Last one of 100%. The teams who. All right, Jerry's going to probably get in the Hall of Fame just for that right there. Of the teams who reached the divisional round of the playoffs, which starting quarterback threw for the most passing yards in his team's wild card round win? Is it C.J. Stroud, Jared Goff, or Baker Mayfield?
Oh, crap.
Well, Jordan Love, not even an option.
I know he wasn't the answer. Let's go with, I know Baker Mayfield threw for quite a bit. Let's go with Baker Mayfield.
Great deductive reasoning. Really? Hall of Fame performance from Jerry. Hall of Fame performance.
All right.
In fairness,
Thank you.
If just saying I agree with Tausch was a precursor to your Hall of Fame induction, the building would be overflowing.
Three-quarters of our fans would be in.
As you hear the new open, is there anything people enjoy more than agreeing with Tausch? All right, Jerry, you got all 3 right. That means you got 4 entries into our drawing tomorrow. We appreciate you playing, buddy. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Love you guys.
We love you too.
We love you too, Jerry. Yeah. We love Jerry
Welcome to the Hall of Fame. Welcome to Mazomania, wherever we're going to put this place.
Big question is who's going to sing that? You have to have a headline for whoever makes the Hall of Fame, and somebody's going to have to sing that too.
We'll put that work on Josh.
Like we could buy like an old rundown strip mall, and we could actually do a Hall of Fame somewhere, and people could come visit it. We could charge admission. Set up 565 in the back.
Jesse's going to work the front desk in addition to everything else. But then he's going to call in sick a lot from the Hall of Fame, and then we'll have to be closed because we have no one to work the desk. All right. We need to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. But before we can, I will say this. If there's going to be beverages inside the new Wilde and Tausch Hall of Fame, I would hope there'd be bubbler that would be provided by Tier 1 Tyler. But also, ice-cold Blue Mountain Coors Lights.
Coors Light brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it's cold packaged, so it's made to chill. And what a great idea. Grab a couple of your silver bullets, those 16-ounce wide-mouth bottles, and you got snow to shovel, you got lawn to mow. Shove it in that snow bank, finish your job, and then go grab it because those mountains will be blue. It's chilled to perfection. That's why it's quarters out of my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We'll kick off the 11 o'clock hour with some tackle talk, the Wilde, LaFleur, and Love edition, and also why I'm feeling a little fan-ish as we go into this game against the 49ers. I'll explain that as well during the 11 o'clock hour, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace for the Bath Authority. If your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold and mildew, or broken tiles, you gotta call my friends at the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. Elevate your bathroom to a new level of luxury, style, and safety. Schedule your free in-home estimate today and get $1,000 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Tausch begins now.
All right, you got to tell me. You've been teasing this all show.
Quite the tease.
It is one of our points of contention is that you're not a fan. I like players, but I just let the story unfold and I write how it goes.
It's true.
I don't care if they win 15 games or if they win 5 games. I just wrote this.
It sounds just like him.
No, wait. You do such a good imitation of me, the way I end sentences.
Yeah, but I was over
on the upswing, and then I talk about how I'm not a fan, and then I talk about other things.
Yeah, that's more. This is my hyperbolic. I don't necessarily always believe what you're saying. But in this instance, now you're saying old boy might be a little fanboying.
I'm not saying. I'm not going there. I'm just going there. So here's the thing. And it is still a cheering for the story that is underlying this. But it's also, and I never take this job for granted. I really don't. There's not. Yeah, I know. That's a big sigh. I do that in questions too. Yes. Go ahead.
Oh, I know you do.
Break down more Wildeisms. I'm ready.
That's not for today.
I'm wearing my tight pants as I'm got a crowbar to get my bathtub
Your
out.
mom jeans. You got to bring those mom jeans out.
They're back. They're very popular now, I think. So As the playoffs unfolded with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and, they went to the playoffs, 9 years in a row or something ridiculous, starting with you on the 2009 team and Rodgers' second year as the starter. Great run, right? Even when he broke his collarbone, you guys get in 2013. I guess you were retired by then. But my point is that it became run-of-the-mill. It became expected.